Right, you snuggle down, and I'll tell you the story about Luke and the Empire.
Skywalker.
Yeah. Are you ready?
That make you help you do bedtime stories.
Yeah. Okay, are you ready? Right. One day, there was a boy, and his name was Luke Skywalker. And Luke wanted to go and be a space pilot. He wanted to go and fly around, be a space pilot, go zap the baddies, and be a hero. But he wasn't allowed. He wasn't allowed to do that because he lived with his auntie and uncle on a farm. He had to do farming, and they said, no, you can't go and be a space pilot. We need you on the farm. Luke was sad about this, but he just did what they said. So his first job that day was to go and get some robots to go and fix things. So he went and went looking for some robots. At the same time, the Empire, who are the bad people, like with the stormtroopers, the white people, and their leader is Darth Vader, who's the black one, and he's really mean and horrible. They were trying to chase Princess Leia and get her for some reason. And because she was the leader of the rebels, who are the good people. And so they chased Princess Leia in her spaceship, and they were zapping everybody. And Princess Leia thought, I'm going to be captured here. So she wrote a quick hologram message and saved it on her little robot called R2-D2. So R2-D2 and C-3PO, another golden robot, escape and fly off to another planet. But Princess Leia gets captured. Oh no! So then C-3PO and R2-D2 landed on a strange sandy planet, a bit like a desert, and they were just walking along trying to find the way. But some little creatures in hoodies called Jawas, they're like a bunch of teenagers, they jumped out and zapped R2-D2 and then captured him and took him to go and sell. So it was bad for him. But it turned out to be a good luck thing because Luke bought R2-D2 for some money to go and do some jobs on the farm. And he bought C-3PO as well because he got nicked by the Jawas as well in their big van. And so Luke was messing around, he was a bit fed up, and he pressed a button on R2-D2 and a big hologram came out of Princess Leia saying, help, help, Obi-Wan Kenobi. The Empire have been really naughty and they're trying to get me. I'm trying to run away. Just help me. So then Luke said, I don't know who Obi-Wan Kenobi is, but there's a guy called Ben Kenobi. He lives just in the desert somewhere. Let's go and find him and see what he's got to say. So they go and find Ben, and Ben says he's an old man, and he says, we need to go and rescue this princess because this Darth Vader guy is really bad, and if he captures her it could be really awful, so let's go and save her. And Luke says, no, I can't, I've got to work on the farm, they won't let me run off fighting the Empire. So Ben says, oh, okay, but you're going to be a really good Jedi, you're going to be really cool like your dad. He was a really good space pilot, the best one pretty much, and that's what you should do. And Luke says, no, I've got to work on the farm. Maybe later. So this is really bad. And Ben's thinking, I don't know what I'm going to do. Doing it on my own would be a bit of a hassle. But sort of luckily a bit for him, but bad luck for Luke's family that he lived with, was that when they got back, his auntie and uncle had got shot and killed and burned to bits by all the stormtroopers. That's bad. But Luke just said immediately, oh no, that's bad, but now I can come and help you sort out the Empire and fight them. So it's not all bad, is it? Let's go. So they go off on the adventure, and the first thing they need to do is get a lift in a spaceship to where Princess Leia lives before they can rescue her. So Ben takes them to this pub where lots of people have spaceships, but they sit and drink in the pub as well. And so they go in there, but at the time the Empire are also looking for the robots, the droids R2-D2. So Ben, when they get stopped, and the stormtroopers are saying to him, "Where's the droids? Oh, you've got some droids. These look like the ones that we're after." And Ben, because he's really powerful and he's a Jedi, he says, "These aren't the droids you're looking for," and uses like a mind trick to convince the stormtrooper that those aren't the real droids that he's after. So he says, "Okay, I'll go through then." So they park in the pub car park and go in. And then, when they get in there, this pub is rough. It's really dodgy. And they're playing music in there that goes like this. And it goes on like that for ages, and while you see all the dodgy people that are sitting in there, really bad. So while all this is going on, Luke is standing at the bar trying to sort of blend in and not stand out, and this bloke comes up to him and says, "I know this creature, who I don't know what he looks like, I forgot, he's probably green," starts going to Luke, and Luke's sort of saying, thinks, what's going on? What's this creature saying? And this creature's friend comes up and says, "My friend doesn't like you." And Luke says, "Oh well, sorry about that. What can I do?" And then the bloke goes, "I don't like you either. Oh, you're annoying." And Luke's just saying, "Look, I don't know, just get off me, get away." And this bloke and this creature start trying to fight Luke. So Ben goes and gets his lightsaber and chops the creature's arm off. And then they leave him alone after that, because they know that Ben's not really just an old man. He's really tough and really cool, and he knows how to use his lightsaber really well and chop up the baddies. So then, I think before this, or around about the same time, Ben was talking to this big furry creature who looks a bit like a dog. What do you think his name is? Because you've got a toy of him. Chewbacca, yeah. So he's talking to Chewbacca, and at the same time as all this is going on, I think he's asking Chewbacca if they can have a lift to Princess Leia's planet. And while this is all happening, Han Solo is sort of getting hassled by this green bloke called Greedo, and he saying things like, "You owe Jabba the Hutt loads of money. You're in debt to Jabba the Hutt, and he's saying that anyone who kills you or brings you to him can have loads of money. So that's why I'm here. I'm going to get you. I'm going to take you in. I'm going to get loads of money for taking you to Jabba the Hutt. And Han Solo just says, shut up, and gets his gun and shoots him under the table. And then he goes to the bar and throws some coins at the barman and says, sorry about the mess, as if that would sort of make it okay, that it only costs a couple of coins to clear up a dead body. But it's fine. Everything's just fine, and no one seems to mind, which means it was a dodgy pub. And then Ben says to Luke, these people can give us a lift to Princess Leia's planet, so let's get in. And just at that minute, some stormtroopers come along and find that they're getting away. So they quickly run on Han Solo's spaceship, which is called the Millennium Falcon, and they have a bit of a laser fight. And then they all get on and fly away. And then they zap through the air really fast to get to where Princess Leia lives. But when they get there, it's just loads of rocks hitting them, and they're like saying, oh no, it's like the planet's not even there. It's really bad. Oh, and I forgot, on the way while they were going there, Luke was learning how to be a bit of a Jedi, and Ben was telling him that you have to feel the Force and try and move things around, and try and think that you can know things even though you can't see what's going on. And while at the same time this was happening, Chewbacca was playing a game of chess against R2-D2, and C-3PO was helping him, I think. And he's getting really annoyed because he's losing, and he goes, and Han Solo says, you better watch out, because if he loses, he gets really aggro and he will probably rip your arms off. So then Luke just says, just let the Wookiee win the game so that he doesn't get too annoyed. Anyway, back to when they landed in Princess Leia's planet, but it wasn't there because it had been shot by the Death Star. That's another bit I forgot. They zapped it and made it all disappear. And they captured Princess Leia. So anyway, they couldn't see what had really happened, and they didn't really know what was going on. And so, they saw in the distance a big round ball, and they didn't know what it was. They thought, it's a planet. No, it's not big enough to be a planet. Maybe it's a moon. No, I don't know. Anyway, they find out that it's a massive space station called the Death Star, and it starts to drag them in, and they can't get away from it. Oh no! So what do? They decide to just basically hide under the floor, under a little hole in the floor. And when they do that, the stormtroopers come on board the spaceship and try and look for Han Solo and Chewbacca and Luke and the robots and Ben, but they can't find them because they all hid under the floor. And then Luke and Han Solo put on a different voice while there's a stormtrooper, two stormtroopers are guarding the spaceship, and Luke and Han put on a voice and go, come over here a minute. And the stormtroopers go, okay, let's go and have a look. And then you hear, they beat them up, and they get their clothes on and put their white suits on, and they put their helmets on as well. And then they pretend to put handcuffs on Chewbacca. This is their plan. And they pretend that they've caught Chewbacca as a prisoner. And so they go up to the office control room, and go, "Let us in, we've got a prisoner." And then the other people go, "Okay, come in." And the doors open. And then when they get inside, Chewbacca goes, "Not really," and bashes them. And Han Solo gets a gun and goes and shoots them. And they have a bit of a gunfight, and the baddies get shot. And it's great. And then they shut the doors. And then one of the other people who works at the Death Star rings up the office and says, "What's going on? We heard a bit of a ruckus. Is everything okay?" And Han Solo says, "Yeah, it's fine. Don't worry about it. We're all good in here." And the other bloke goes, "Well, who are you? I don't recognise your voice." And Han Solo says, "Oh, I'm bored of this conversation." And he shoots the phone, and it blows it up. And then, so they know that the bad guys are on the way and going to be coming. So they don't know what to do, and they're stressing out a bit. So Ben just says, "Well, you go and rescue the Princess Leia, and I will go and find the tractor beam or whatever it is, the force field that keeps us on the Death Star, and I'll turn it off, and then we can get going, okay? So let's go." So Ben goes off to do that. And so Luke and Han Solo find out what cell the princess is being kept in, and they go down the corridor to go and find her. And they press on the button and open the door, and Princess Leia's in there. And she says, "Hello, what are you doing here? Who are you?" I think she has a go at them because they look short, and stormtroopers are a bit taller normally. And Luke and Han Solo say, "We've come to rescue you." And she just sits there looking all a bit unimpressed. And then she has a go at Chewbacca because he's sort of walking around, and she says something like, "Somebody get this walking carpet out of my way." And then they walk down the corridor a bit, and the stormtroopers are coming on the way to find them, and they see them and go, "Right, get 'em!" And Luke and Han Solo and Princess Leia think, "We don't know what to do. Ah!" And so they make a little hole in the wall and jump down a tube, and they fall into a big bin, which is really bad. It's where all the rubbish goes. And so they're in there now, and it's just alright at first. It's just water, and they start looking for a way out. But then a big snake thing comes along and tries to eat them and pulls them under, and they have to shoot it. And so they just shoot that, and then the walls of the bin start crushing inwards, and they think, "Oh no, we're gonna get crushed." So they ring up on the phone R2-D2 and say, "Help, just sort this out, fix it so the bin doesn't kill us." And R2-D2 starts messing around with the controls of the Death Star, and this is it's really lucky that he did that, because later on, I'll tell you in a minute what happens. So the bin stops crushing them, and they get out, and it's brilliant. And in the meantime, Ben is kind of just walking around looking for the force field buttons for the Death Star, and can't find them for a bit. And then some more stormtroopers come, and Luke and Han Solo and Leia have to try to run away. So I think Chewbacca and Han Solo run off and run away from stormtroopers and shoot loads of them. And then Luke has this bit of string on his belt, and he uses it to escape some stormtroopers by throwing it up and making a swing, and he gets Princess Leia, and they go whoo, and swing away from the baddies while they're trying to get them. And then they find their way back to the spaceship. In the meantime, Ben Kenobi is just hanging around, and he finds the buttons for the tractor beam or the force field, turns it off, and then Darth Vader finds him and says, "Hello, Ben Kenobi. I haven't seen you for ages. What are you doing?" And Ben says, "I don't know. What are you doing? Being bad again?" "Yeah. Right, let's have a fight." So they have lightsaber fight. And they fight against each other. But Darth Vader's more powerful. And they're fighting for ages because Ben Kenobi's really good at fighting with lightsabers as well. And at this point, he's still awake. Yeah. Hello. At this point, Luke and Han Solo and Chewbacca and everybody and Princess, they all get back to the spaceship, and they think, "Oh no, it's really bad. We'll never get back to it because it's loads of stormtroopers are standing around guarding it. This is just really tricky." But because Darth Vader and Ben Kenobi are fighting, loads of the stormtroopers start watching that instead and getting distracted, and they think, "Hey, look over there, lads. The boss is fighting this old man. Don't see that every day, do you? Let's go and have a look." So they go to see what's going on, and while they're not looking, Luke and Ben and Han Solo and everybody run to the spaceship. But while they're getting on, Luke's sort of lagging behind because he's probably not very quick at running, and he's getting distracted by the lightsaber fight as well because he wants to see if his friend Ben Kenobi is going to win. But Ben sort of, I don't know, he kind of doesn't really mind if he wins or not for loads of reasons that I'll tell you later. And he sort of lets Darth Vader kill him with a lightsaber, and he just disappears totally and vanishes into thin air. And Darth Vader sort of says, "Oh, is he really dead?" And he treads on his cloak a bit to make sure he's definitely gone, which is weird, really. But anyway, he's just gone, and that's it. And Luke goes, "No!" And then all the stormtroopers go, "What's that? Who's that shouting?" And they turn around and see that Luke's there, and they're getting on the spaceship. "Quick!" So they fire at them and shoot at them, and they quickly get on and fly away. And so that's brilliant. And the force field's been deactivated by Ben, which is great. And they escape. But some of the baddies chase after them in their spaceships, which are called TIE fighters, and they kind of look a bit like bats, and they fly after the Millennium Falcon. "Oh no, this is really bad. Quick, come with me. Chewbacca, you fix the spaceship and we'll shoot the baddies." So Han Solo and Luke go down into this little other area where they can sit on these chairs and control the guns that move around. And they have to keep an eye out for when the spaceships attack them. And the spaceships are flying around trying to get them. And Chewbacca's trying to fix the spaceship, and he's getting really stressed out, going, "I can't find the right spanners." And C-3PO's going, "Oh no, I'm trying to help," and being really annoying. And I think R2-D2's helping, and I think Princess Leia's helping a bit as well, or she might, I don't know what she's doing at this point. But anyway, Luke and Han Solo shoot all the enemy spaceships, and they just loving it after a while, going, "Yeah, woohoo!" They're like having actual fun while this is all going on. And so after that, they fix the spaceship and fly off, and they definitely get away this time properly. and everything's great for the time being. But it turns out that Princess Leia is quite high up in the rebel army, which is trying to fight against the Empire. And so they go back to this control place where they all live. And what happens next? They're sitting around in a big room looking at what they can do to win against the Empire, saying, has anyone got any new plans, or what should we do next? What's a good idea? And R2-D2 says, blip, 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 blip. He goes, blip, 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 blip. What do you think that means? Don't know. Okay, well, C-3PO speaks loads of languages, and he says R2-D2's saying that he's downloaded the plans for the Death Star on his USB stick or whatever, and so we can have a look at them and maybe find out if there's any ways that we can wreck it. You're tired? You can go to sleep. Go to sleep. Anyway, so they're looking at the plans for the Death Star, and somebody notices something really brilliant. They look at the plans and say, hey, look guys, if we shoot fireballs at this hole here, they'll go down a big tube right into the middle of the Death Star and make it go, and then we can wreck it. Yes! So they all think, brilliant, high fives, let's get in our spaceships and go and get it. So they do, and they say they all get dressed up in their clothes, and they get in these planes which are called X-Wing fighters, and they fly off to go and wreck the Death Star. And Princess Leia or somebody says to Han Solo and Chewbacca, do you want to come and help blow up the Death Star? And Han Solo says, nah, don't worry about it. I've got paid now for helping you out. I've already rescued you enough today. I've done my bit. I'll see you later. I'll go back to smuggling drugs and stuff. I'm not interested. And they start trying to make him feel guilty and saying, you only care about money. You're just a scoundrel. Blah 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 blah. But he will not be guilt tripped into it, and he just says, no, just forget it. I'm off. So he goes off. He's gone. And then, but Luke's up for it because he always wanted to be a pilot. Remember from earlier, he wanted to fight against the Empire, and they were saying, oh no, we'll never shoot fireballs down that hole. And Luke starts chirping up and being all cocky and saying, I used to shoot wombats or womp rats or something on the farm with my spaceship, and they were about that size, so I reckon I can easily shoot that hole in the Death Star. So let's just get on with it. Let's go. And they all fly off to go and fight against the Death Star. But somebody, one of the rebel people, who's quite high up again, said that if you want to wreck the Death Star, the only way to shoot down the special hole is you've got to fly along these trenches in the Death Star, and that way it's just the only way to do it. So just fly down them and you'll be sorted. Go. And so they fly at the Death Star. The baddie fighters come out and start zapping them, and loads of them get wrecked, and it's really stressful. And Luke's saying, oh no, my friend just got shot. He knows some of the people that are flying them, and one of them's called Wes, I think, and I can't remember which ones get shot, but some of his friends get shot, and he's stressing out. And Darth Vader even comes out in his spaceship to fight them, because he starts thinking, hang on, they might be in with a chance here, I better go and sort it out. Can't trust these pilots to do the job, I'll go and do it myself. So they're in a big fight, flying around, zapping each other, and then gradually, one by one, all the rebels get shot and start crashing and stuff. And Luke says, let's just go for it, one more final bit to get round. And he flies down, and Darth Vader's after him, trying to get him as well. And at this point, Luke's getting closer and closer to this hole bit, and he's saying, right, I'm gonna get ready, and he uses his target telescope to see where he can aim. And then Ben, for some reason, can talk in Luke's mind even though he's dead, and he says to him, use the Force, Luke. And Luke knows at this point that Ben's telling him not to use the laser system that could help him, and just go on pure just instinct, like the Force, use the Force, even though he doesn't really know how to use it yet. And Luke just listens to this voice in his head and says, yeah, I will. And he presses this button and makes the target thing go away. So he's just going to blag it and aim it. And even worse is that Darth Vader's right behind him and says, I'm going to zap you now, I have you now. And he's about to zap Luke. And everything at this moment is really, really bad. And everything's just awful. And he's going to get zapped, and they're going to lose, and the Death Star's going to just blow up everything. And then, who do you think comes along to save everyone, to save Luke? You might know. Who was it who was helping him out earlier? Shall I tell you? Well, all of a sudden, zap, 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 pew! Han Solo and Chewbacca turn up again. And they didn't really go. They actually just flew back to try and help after all. And they zap the baddies, and Darth Vader gets damaged. His ship doesn't blow up completely, and he just spins off into the distance. And at that point, Luke just goes, right, I'm near the hole. Presses the button, and a big fireball goes down the hole. And they say, yeah, you got it, right, leg it. And they all fly off really quickly to get away from the Death Star, because they think it's about to blow up. And the Death Star goes, and it's massive, and it blows up, and they just about get away. And they go, woohoo! And they escape. And then they all fly back to the base, which, I forgot to tell you, if they didn't blow up the Death Star was going to definitely shoot their base and kill all of them as well. So they had to do it. They couldn't just come back and have another go. It was really important. Should have said that earlier. But then they get home and they fly and land, and then they jump out and start going woohoo and running around, hugging each other because they're really happy. And Luke goes up to Han Solo and says, ha ha ha, thanks for helping. I knew you weren't just a bad person without a heart. And thanks for coming back. And Princess Leia runs over and gives them all a big hug as well. And everyone's really happy. And then they have a big celebration to say well done to Luke and Han Solo and Chewbacca and the robots. And Princess Leia gives them all a big medal and says, well done for helping. I'm glad you came along. And then they turn around at the medal ceremony. I can't remember, but I think Chewbacca doesn't get a medal or something out of order like that. Something annoyed me about the end, but I can't remember what it was. I think Chewbacca didn't get a medal or something, which isn't fair because he helped loads. And at that point, they turn around and everybody just smiles, and that is the end. And next time, I'll tell you about what happened next when the Empire get some revenge, and Darth Vader didn't die, and he flies off and says, "I'm going to get you next time." So look out for him because he might come back, and I'll tell you the next bit of the story tomorrow. Okay? Now you go to sleep. Night night. Love you. I know, it's because I turned the light off. Do you want it back on? Do you want the night light on? There you go. Like that. Good boy. See you in the morning light.